Hi, my name is Sky. I'm a vampire VTuber, and today we're reacting to Randy buys a bookshelf of Gumtree. I have no idea what Gumtree is, but I do own a lot of bookshelves. So yeah, I'm very qualified on the matter. Anyway, let's get into it.
Alright, here we go. Okay, fuck. Okay, here we go. Okay. Walking to Sky.
To Sky? To where?
I bought a bookshelf on Gumtree recently.
Oh.
It was an amazing experience.
What's
I'll quickly tell
Gumtree?
you about it and then I'll read the book. But I found it strange because it made me start to think about the way like our methods of communication have sort of changed over the years. You know, in the old days, if you wanted a bookshelf, you'd just go see Gareth the bookshelf guy. He was the dude in your tribe that made the bookshelves. He had a little bookshelf cave. He was reputable. Now any mad bastard can sell their shit on Gumtree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a species, we're sort of able to cope with knowing and gossiping about around like 100 or 150 people.
100?
That's like the limit of our tribe. Any more than that, it starts to get confusing, which is why we...
I don't even know 100 people. What? 100 is crazy to me. I don't know 100 people in real life.
created abstract constructs like territories and deities to unite larger groups of people under an imaginary common factor. And it works a treat because we only really gather en masse on special occasions. But I think like social media and it's fucking all that up, you know? And I think we're able to deal with the thousands of people we're connected to on a daily basis. And as a result, we neglect our immediate 150, you know? That's why I never get invited to parties anymore. It's not because I ramble on about veganism and fisting old ladies. It's because I'm not on Facebook and everybody just assumes you are. I am so behind on the births, deaths, and marriages of my friends that I feel like the time traveler's wife every time I go to a party. I'm like, this is Tim, he's our son, he's 6 now. Fucking didn't even know you were pregnant.
That's so true.
And you know smartphones aren't that great.
That's so
you know,
true.
Right? They're not that great. You know.
I literally have a friend who is pregnant now, and I literally didn't know. She's been pregnant for like 8 months now. Literally didn't know. No idea. Until like very, very recently.
You don't need the internet in your pocket. You work at Coles, okay? You're not working for the president. You don't need it. You don't need that much information. And also, what was the point of developing opposable thumbs for you to take a photo of your head, post it on the internet, and then just stand by for validation? No one gives a fuck about your head. They'll only validate it in order to gain permission to post a photo of their own head on the internet.
He roasted all of us.
The people who give a fuck about your head will at some point see it in real life. Fuck your head and the neck it rode in on. Oh your vanity is sucking up my bandwidth.
I wonder how I would feel about content creators. Because I have a feeling this is kind of an older video. So I don't know. I feel like every content creator posts pictures of themselves now. Even VTubers, they do that too, yes. But when you think about it, he's also kind of a VTuber. He's using an avatar. Not a virtual one, but an avatar still, huh?
Anyway, this is what's going through my head as I'm on Gumtree looking for a bookshelf because you know when you put something in the search in Booktree, what the fuck?
Booktree.
You put something in the search on Gumtree. I'm having a stroke up here. When you put something in the search, right, and like there's always a couple of things that come up in the list that are like the polar opposite of what you search for. I'm like, get out of my head, Gumtree algorithms, conspiracy. No, but seriously, you type it's like bookshelf and it's like bookshelf, 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 gramophone, bookshelf, combine harvest.
The like opposite happens to me where it's kind of like creepy. I like mention, I don't know, the fact that I want a croissant, right? I know, very cliche considering I'm French, but sometimes I don't know. I like thinking about croissants. Anyway, I'm like, okay, I really want a croissant right now. Then I look at my phone and then it's like, The best croissant recipe. An ad on how to make nice croissants? That is sus. Does that happen to anyone else? Can anyone like relate to that?
What the fuck? That's actually a pretty good price. Anyway, on this particular day, I found 2 bookshelves that worked for me in terms of cost and, more importantly, geographical convenience, because I'd be fucked if I'm driving to Broadmeadows to pick up a bookshelf, right? So I type in bookshelf and I see the 2 things and I'm like, okay, one seller is Kathy, the other is Morgan. I send them both the same text message. Hello, I saw your bookshelf on Gumtree. Is it still available? Kathy texts back straight away saying, sorry, it went this morning. That's cool, Kathy. I'm sorry I gave you an annoying voice in the retelling of this story.
Poor Kathy.
Morgan's response came through a couple of minutes later and simply read, it was my wife's bookshelf.
Oh. Oh my God.
To that? Aside from the fact that it doesn't answer my fucking question, his use of past tense in that sentence unnerved me slightly.
Yeah, I can tell.
Oh, I should probably just find another bookshelf. And then I noticed he lived in the suburb next to me, so I replied, is it still available? He responded with the letter Y. Just
What?
a Y.
What?
Is he asking me why I want to know if it's still available? Or is it a Y for yes, and he's so in the throes of grief that he can't manage the E and the S?
Oh, God.
I assume it's a Y for yes, so I respond, cool, I'll take it. When's a good time to come and pick it up? No reply for 15 minutes. I'm like, oh, he's forgotten about me. Fuck it, I'll find another bookshelf. And then when his reply actually does come through, I realise he spent those 15 minutes crafting his response because it's a fucking thesis.
What?
He must have felt so bad about only using a single consonant in his previous text that he just massively overcompensated with this one. Also, for some reason, felt that the use of punctuation entirely unnecessary. So it's just one obscenely long sentence which reads, you must come and pick up now. I only have short time here at house and also it wide. So bring van or trailer and there stair. But I can help you carry downstairs. If you come park out front, walk up past ring bell and I will help you carry it to trailer or van. I only accept cash and if you do not come now, I will sell it someone else.
Oh my God, that's great. How do you memorize all of that? Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Again, I'm thinking, I should just find another bookshelf at this point. But now I am fascinated by Morgan and I simply must meet the man. So I drive over to his house. Oh, before I left, I sent him a message saying, cool, I'll be there in 10 minutes. He replied, okay, but spelled it O-K-A-Y, which just fascinated me more that he'll use 4 letters to spell a 2-letter word, but only 1 letter to spell
doesn't
a 3-letter
make
word.
sense.
Morgan is off the fucking chain!
This is amazing. This is so funny.
And as I'm driving over to his house, I'm trying to picture what he's going to be like, you know. His pidgin English might suggest ethnicity of some sort, but I don't want to racially profile him. Maybe he's an old man who recently lost his wife and is not that very good at texting, or maybe,
probably.
and I'm really hoping this is the case, Morgan is just batshit crazy. So, I get to his house and I go up to
Why is he hoping that's the case?
Past ring bell and I brace myself for the door to be opened by like an old man in a smoking jacket, wearing fishnet stockings and suspenders, just puffing on an opium pipe, while a butler just creepily polishes a goldfish.
Why
in the
fishnet
background.
stockings? Oh,
And
God.
then a tiny pug dog wearing a fez hat just trots up the hallway, sits on the mat, looks up at me and says,
cute.
welcome to our lovely room. And And then the door opens and I am thoroughly disappointed.
Oh.
Before me stands an average Caucasian male in his mid-30s, dressed casually, hipster chic,
Casually?
stubble, glasses with designer frames, expensive watch. I immediately think architect, but the house is too cheesy for that. It's like a double-story doll's house with bay windows. But definitely a designer of some kind, maybe a graphic designer. He's too skinny for manual labour. He's too hip for the public sector. But this can't be Morgan. Because Morgan's text messages would suggest that he's not that technically savvy. And then the man standing in front of me says, "Hello, my name's Morgan." And the plot thickens! He invites me.
Yeah, I don't know why some people just don't really ever learn how to text. I have friends who are in their mid-20s or like a bit older, and they literally can't text. Like, I just wonder, how do you function? How do you write an email? How do you do anything when you don't know how to write a sentence on a phone or something? I don't get it.
Ian shakes my hand, closes the door, and 20 minutes later, I will be witnessing Morgan perform some of the most aggressive acts of violence I've ever seen in my life.
Oh,
and
what?
I will be speeding away in my car, bleeding from the face.
Surely it won't be that bad.
Shit went down. I go into the house and I notice two things immediately. One, this is a house in the throes of renovation. Nothing too extreme, but there's like drop sheets on all the furniture, there's freshly painted walls, there's a bathtub wrapped in plastic in the hallway awaiting installation. Someone's doing some work on this house. The second thing I notice, on the way up the stairs to the second floor, on the first floor landing, is a wedding photograph featuring a very cleanly shaven Morgan with a very beautiful bride. Very much in love. The photograph is very much on the floor and the glass in the frame is very much smashed. She's not dead, she's left him, and the plot thickens a bit more for Morgan.
Oh, God, he's divorced.
Like, kicked the photo frame to one side on the way up the stairs.
That's kind of insane.
I really wanted to pry into Morgan's life and ask heaps of inappropriate questions.
Yeah, I would have
too.
too.
He was clearly a broken man.
Aww.
He had this terrible air of sadness around him, so I didn't want to intrude.
Oh, I feel
Luckily
bad
for me,
for
though, I
him.
didn't have to because Morgan immediately began oversharing and
Oh,
told me the
yeah,
whole
trauma dumping.
fucking story.
Yeah, classic,
Thank you, Morgan.
classic.
I shall hang off your every word and then retell your tale to 200 strangers and record it
Oh
for a
my
fucking
God.
DVD.
That literally happened to me once, not in real life, but there was like this person I didn't know that well. But, you know, I like to be nice and friendly to everyone, so I was still nice to him even though he like kind of gave me weird vibes. And there was like one day where he was like, "Hey, do you want a game?" And I was like, "Okay, sure," you know. And I was like in a VC with a friend, so I created a group, I invited him, and then for 30 minutes straight he like was trauma dumping. 30 minutes straight. I couldn't even get a word in. I could only say like, oh yeah. Oh, that's awful. Oh, yeah. Literally, he did that for 30 minutes straight. And then by the end of it, he was like, "Okay, guys, I'm going to leave now. Bye." And I was like, "Okay, bye." I didn't even feel like, you know, really angry or anything because he was clearly going through it. That was insane.
He is a graphic designer, yes, and he's really good at it. He does like massive rebranding campaigns for large corporations. He gets flown all over the world doing this shit, right?
I just noticed, wait, is that a vampire or what is that? Is that a vampire steel or something on his t-shirt? What is that? It looks like a vampire.
4 years ago, a woman hired Morgan to rebrand her florist business, and he did such a great job, she married him. And he thought everything was just fine, until about 3 months ago, Morgan had to do a presentation in Sydney, right? But he was on his way home from overseas.
Did
and
she
he got
cheat on
stuck in
him?
Dubai due to a flight cancellation. So rather than cancel the meeting, Morgan suggested to these businessmen in Sydney that they do a Skype chat because he's so technologically savvy despite his fucking baffling text message style. So Morgan checks into a hotel, cracks open his laptop and starts Skyping with this room full of businessmen in Sydney who are all watching Morgan on a massive screen on their boardroom wall, right?
Yeah.
And everything's going great. Morgan is totally nailing it until about halfway through, he realises that a file he wants to show these dudes is on the desktop of his home computer back in his home office in Melbourne. And he decides to live share the desktop of his home computer on the Skype chat. He knows how to do that. He can control his computer remotely from anywhere in the world. It's not particularly new technology, but Morgan makes it sound so impressive. So this room full of businessmen are all watching keenly like, oh, Margaret, bring in some biscuits. There's some newfangled shit going on here. As Morgan clicks a few buttons and brings up the desktop of his home computer on the Skype chat. Now,
what happens
Morgan
next?
doesn't realise is that his wife has been using the photo booth app on that particular computer to take pictures of herself. To take naked pictures of herself.
Oh my God!
To take naked pictures of herself doing some pretty fucked up shit. It's embarrassing to say the least. Just as Margaret came back in with the biscuits, I've got you the...
But for herself or for someone else? By the way, I love the screeching.
Now, those of you who are familiar with the photo booth app will know that how it works is it accesses the built-in camera in your computer and with a click of a button, takes a photo of you when you're standing in front of the screen. And if you know that, you'll also know that if you leave that application open, the camera also stays open.
Yes.
Witnessing whatever may be happening in front of the computer in
Oh
real time.
God. Oh no.
Such as your wife in your home office fucking your best mate.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it. I knew she was cheating on him. I knew it, but that's so bad. The fact that he had to see that live and other people had to see it too during a business meeting. That is so humiliating. That is so sad. Oh my God, I feel so bad for this man. That is so sad. Oh God.
Morgan then goes on to tell me she's keeping the house, his former best mate is moving in, and while they're out for the day happily shopping for fittings, Morgan must suffer the indignity of moving his shit out and selling the stuff they don't want on Gumtree to this guy. It's at this point of the story that Morgan starts crying.
Fucking
he breaks
God.
down, and I do not blame the man. It's fucking horrible.
Oh my God,
and I just
that's
want to
so
give him a big hug and
sad.
say everything's going to be
That's
alright,
devastating.
Morgan. But I am holding the full weight of a bookshelf halfway down a set of stairs, and Morgan is the only thing stopping that bookshelf from caving my face in. I was like, Morgan!
Oh God. Oh God. No.
And Morgan managed to pull himself together for about 8 seconds and then just went, bah, and let the bookshelf go. I fell backwards. It literally rolled over me and took out the light hanging above the staircase. I'm now lying on my back getting showered in broken glass. As the bookshelf turned end over end, it just went thonk right through a freshly painted wall at the bottom of the stairs.
Oh God. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong.
I got a tiny cut on my forehead,
Kinda
which
funny,
is just
though.
piercing blood for some reason. Apart from that, I'm fine. Morgan, however, he's not fine.
Yeah.
Morgan is the
I
opposite
figured.
of fine.
Yeah. No, he's not.
Something happened when the bookshelf lodged itself in the wall, and his sadness just went away in a second, and he started pissing himself laughing. Hysterical. And he had the creepiest laugh I've ever heard in my life. I'm sitting there going, this is weird, and he's going... like some sort of demonically possessed baritone kookaburra. It's like...
Oh, Coco Gaga is crazy.
We extracted from the wall. The bookshelf, incidentally, showing no sign of having just rolled down a staircase and smashed through a wall. We carried it out to my car. We had to stop about 6 times because Morgan was like, hang on a minute. We got it to my car, put it on the trailer, and Morgan was in such a great mood, he let me have the bookshelf for free.
Ah, W. Huge W. Huge W. I just realized his neck is so wrinkled. Considering his neck and his head are both pink, it kind of gives off a certain vibe, if you know what I mean.
And that's where the story should end.
Oh, and it didn't end.
About the bookshelf going through the wall that flipped a fucking switch in Morgan's head.
Oh.
And he is now hungry for more destruction.
Oh.
So as I started tying the bookshelf down to my trailer, Morgan just strolls over to like an upright mailbox on the front lawn and just starts trying to wrench it out of the ground. Just
Oh my God.
putting his back into it. He's like,
He's on a rampage.
He's like, yep. He pulls it out of the ground, whereupon he wields it like a fucking battle axe and just starts smashing up the front garden, just beheading the daisies, fucking up the lavender.
God.
I'm like, oh, hey Morgan, maybe you want to stop and think about that. And he wheeled around and looked at me like Jack Nicholson chasing Shelley Duvall up the stairs in The Shining and said, why don't you mind your own fucking business?
Here's Johnny.
Yep, cool man. Yep. Now, I like tying knots. I'm quite good at tying knots. If I tie something down, I take my time because I want it to stay there. But as Morgan nonchalantly strolled up the driveway, rolled up the garage door, and put the mailbox through the windscreen of an Audi?
What?
I must admit, I kind of rushed my knot tying job. I got in the car, I'm about to drive off. I'm like looking at the house going, I'm sure it'll be fine. And then an armchair smashed out of an upstairs window and just went doink, 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 doink down the front lawn. I was like,
Oh God.
what's my duty
You gotta get out of
in
here.
this situation?
You gotta get out of here.
I didn't want to call the cops on him. I didn't want him to trash the house. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna have to talk to Morgan. So I got out, I walked up the driveway, shitting myself. You know when someone does something really violent and you're just like, fuck, we're not supposed to do shit like that. Yucky, just yucky feeling in my tum-tum. And I'm standing there.
Oh yeah.
Standing there in the garage, and there's like an adjoining door in the garage that leads into the house. I can see in through the door into the house, up the staircase. It's like a wooden staircase, and I'm standing in the garage just going, Morgan!
Morgan.
Morgan! Like I was calling a cat for its dinner. Like, Morgan! Morgan! And then I notice
That's kind of
a
cute.
small trickle of water start to come from the top step.
Oh God.
And then a little bit more water, and then quite a lot of water. Just pissing down the stairs like a shitty water feature. I'm like,
What's going
that
on?
can't be right. And then Morgan
That's
appeared
creepy.
on the top step holding a hammer like this. Bah! I was like, wow!
Wow! Oh my God! I would go now.
Wielding the hammer going,
Oh God!
like,
What the
"No,
fuck?"
man, I just wanted to buy a bookshelf. He's like, runs
Ah.
straight past me. I'm like, where are you going? He's like, bah! Made a beeline for my car. I'm like, no,
What?
stop. He's like,
What?
Stop
Oh
it,
God,
just
it's
stop. He spins
Jover.
around and goes, I just checked my phone. She texted me 15 minutes ago saying she'll be here in 15 minutes. We gotta go! And gets into my car. Jesus. Fuck me.
What a day! Oh
I run
my
down the hall,
God!
get in the driver's seat. I'm like, what was with the water? He goes, I put plugs in all of the sinks and turned all the taps on. I'm like, that's fucked. He's like, just drive. I was like, nah. I took off so quick, rounded the corner at the end of his street, and the bookshelf just went, boosh, and exploded against a guardrail. Just exploded in a shower of badly tied knots and broken dreams.
I had a feeling that would happen.
So me and Morgan just fucking left it there. Like a little breadcrumb for his ex-wife to find on the way home to her destroyed gingerbread
Deserved,
house.
though. Deserved.
I dropped Morgan at
Super
a train
deserved.
station. I have never seen him again. And that, my
God.
friends, is why I no longer shop on Gumtree. Thank you very
Fair
much.
enough.
Thank you
Fair
very much.
enough. Man, this was so funny. Randy, you're kind of the goat. I'm not gonna lie. You're the goat, Randy.
You know my favourite bit of that story?
Yeah?
I just made it up. Yeah, it's not true. There is no Morgan.
Oh, God. Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna end the video like, damn, this really sounds like something out of Netflix. I kind of wanted to believe him, but honestly, it sounded really exaggerated. But it was entertaining nonetheless, so who cares? Who cares? You can lie to me as long as you entertain me. As long as it's funny.
It's very unsatisfying, isn't it? But I saw him in my head.
I did too. I imagined him. I imagined him. He was real to me. He was real to me.
Why is it we can feel so robbed when someone tells us a story we just heard isn't true, and yet so satisfied at the end of a fictional novel? Huh? I don't know.
I'm not dissatisfied right now. I'm okay.
You know the great thing about that story? First draft. Fuck you, Hemingway!
Hell yeah. That was awesome. I really enjoyed this type of I guess it wasn't really stand-up comedy, but it was analog VTuber comedy. I'm not sure. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and turn on the notifications by clicking on the bell. And thank you so much to those of you who are members. Yes, we do have memberships. You get cool emotes if you decide to join. And some cool stuff. I appreciate you. Thank you to my 5 members. Mwah. And I'll see you guys on next video. Bye.